All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the trade recap for July 9th, 2026. Ended up getting full TP, but I realistically caught Jack. I caught nothing at all, basically. Because I stopped out around about here, I believe it was. Total, yeah. 42 points. I caught a couple other spots here, but realistically, I didn't even catch very much. Which just goes to show I should stop doing these impatient, unfortunate things. I think today was a struggle mentally because I just wanted to see some good profits. Yes, I did get some good profits, but it was bad. It was so terrible. I was in here and were down here. And I had closed two up here, and then we kind of struggled a little bit. I saw this move, and I was just like, I don't know if I want to hold this, but I closed out half of my position, leaving me with 4 contracts. And then, honestly, I should have just pulled my stops up to break even. I think that would have been the best choice instead of pulling all the way up to here, because my biggest problem here was that I was getting emotional and I was bringing my stops up. There was no reason for it because I had already took out half of my risk and made good amount of profit. If I just kept my stop at break even, I wouldn't have lost anything extra. I would have been good to go. I would have just been great with that. So I should have done that and then just let the rest of it play out. Had I done that, I would be up like 2,000, almost 2.5K this week or today. But unfortunately, I did not do that. So yeah, ended up getting the full TP and then some. I believe this is another like 50, 60 points. Yeah, 61 points. Overall, I think honestly I'm not too mad about it because had I waited for this whole thing, I would have had to wait another like what 2 hours? Yeah, 100. Yeah, 2 hours and 15 minutes for full TP to hit, which is just a little bit much. Honestly, it would have been worth it to just wait that long, but at the same time, I wouldn't have been able to record all of it. I would have just had to sit out or like stop my recording early and then just go outside and chill, whatever. But yeah, so I think honestly, biggest issue today was I was a little emotional. Hopefully tomorrow I'm not as emotional, and I can catch a trade. I'm up about 1,000 today, so about 700 on the account total. So I can request another payout tomorrow if I'm profitable on the day, or I just don't take a trade. But honestly, I would just wait. If I don't end up catching anything tomorrow, or if I don't, or if I lose a trade tomorrow, I'm not gonna request a secondary payout. Hopefully I do win, because if I can win tomorrow as well at 1,500, I would be able to request this payout. Well, I don't even need 1,500. I need 1,400. But yeah, hopefully I can, because then I would be able to request, not request, sorry. I would be able to get that account funded, and then the week after that, I can build the buffer zone for that account. But yeah, so it's been kind of a struggle. Keeping both of these accounts in line because I don't really know how to use Tradeovate's copy trader. It's kind of difficult. So what I'm gonna do, I'll look into it more later. But what I'm gonna do for now is I'm gonna see if I can start doing these limit orders on Tradeovate. That way I don't have to flip between 4-5 different accounts. If I can get this payout Friday, right? Hopefully this payout is above $1,000. Obviously I hope it's more than 2,000 even. Because I was targeting 5,000 on the week, but I didn't get that. Monday was a struggle. Tuesday, Wednesday, very small trading days, choppy price action, difficult to read. Today would have been a good comeback day had I held, but I didn't. And then tomorrow, hopefully, we can have a very good day, or at least just a average $1,000 day. You know, I can't complain about that. I would be able to request 1,700 out, right? But hopefully this next payout is imminent on tomorrow, and hopefully it's more than 1,000 to 1,500 above that range, right? Because then I would be able to buy 3 more accounts, and hopefully I can research a little bit into the Tradeovate copy trader, just because it's like I want to be able to enter all the trades, but I also want to have multiple take profits, and I don't really know if Tradeovate can do that, right? Because it's I don't know. I've never learned how to use it. I only use TradingView, and if I can't do it, then I will do my best to find a copy trader out there that I can use that will be better. And then I think I'm also going to try to invest in TradeZella so I can connect all my accounts, and then I can have the calendar up as well as like what I need to improve, because as of right now, I think something I definitely need to improve is my emotional status whenever I'm trading. Um, Especially because when I'm looking at this trade, I can see that I was like straight. I was good. I wasn't in drawdown for very long at all. I got in here on the candle and drew my stops down to here, right? Um, if I can okay, if I can grab hello. Okay, yeah, I drew my stops down to here, which was 30 points. Nothing insane. It's obviously not great. But then we pulled back all the way up here with a great bullish candle. Ended up pulling my stops up to 22 points. And then once we started moving up, if I was afraid, especially after I had already taken half of my position out right here, I should have just pulled stops up to break even. Okay, I hate this. Pulled my stops up to break even instead of stopping out right here, because at break even at least I still have a chance of going bullish, right? Obviously I've learned this lesson before. I've done this before, but it was just a struggle day, and I would have had to wait 2 hours, but what's 2 hours, right? Um, but yeah, so overall, I think this week so far hasn't been the worst, but it hasn't been good, like at all. It was far from good. Um, Monday, I was very emotional, lost $1,000. Tuesday, Wednesday, caught very, very small moves. It was very choppy until later in the day. Like if we see here, I was in during this chop until later in the day after I got out. I believe I finished around 10:20-ish. We started to see some actual movements. Uh, and then on Tuesday, it was the same thing. I was in all the way down here, and we just exhibited a decent amount of chop back and forth. And then I got out, and then we start moving higher, right? It was really difficult to read, but this day right here, it wasn't necessarily chop. I was in at a good position, but it was just my emotional standpoint on holding these trades was not good, like at all. Still was able to profit about $1,000 on the day. Could I have done more? Absolutely. Do I think I would have waited that long? I think maybe I would have. Once I started seeing chop around here, before even hitting this level, I would have probably exited early, like around these levels. Potentially even after this drop right here, because this was a pretty strong drop. But whatever, right? So I think definitely next time I would wait. I would wait way longer to start pulling my stops into profits, especially if I'm having trouble emotionally holding out these trades. I should do two things. Obviously, take out half my position, and then the next thing is keep my stop loss at break even, especially if we're still only like 20, 30, 40 points away from my initial entry point, right? Because we were about 50 points away, right? That's not that much, realistically speaking, especially since we haven't even hit the 100 mark either. I could have waited until the 100 points before I pulled up to break even, or not even past break even, right? Um, at this point where this drop happened, I could have pulled up to break even, took out half my position, been okay with that. I would have still profited 500 on the day. But you know me, I just be doing things. But yeah, and then we wouldn't have hit my stops. We would have come very close, but we wouldn't have hit it. And then we pushed higher, and then I could be like, oh, okay, now I'm gonna pull up to this low. We push higher, we see this structure, we continue to push higher. Oh, okay, I'm gonna pull up to this low. We push higher, we see this structure, we continue to push higher. Oh, okay, I'm bringing stops up to this low. Hit, take profits. All right, perfect, we're good, right? So I think definitely I need to start working on my mental a little bit more. Most of this entire my first series, The Road to Consistency, was mostly for my strategy and to just get my feelings in check. But obviously, that was paper trading, so not really. I wasn't really working on my emotions, so to say, as I was my strategy. And now that I have my strategy pretty nicely down, and I can see these more often, more quickly, right? Especially because I realized this structure, we were gonna start a reversal soon, right? And then I waited for this to happened, and then exactly when it wanted it, I got in, took my long, right? I was in at a very good position, I would say. Obviously it's not the bottom of the bottom, whatever, right? But it's still a very good position, right? Had I been able to get in down here, maybe I would have, right? But there was nothing really to indicate outside of this SMT divergence. And it was possible, right? But that SMT divergence doesn't determine my trade. It determines whether or not I want to take the trade. Sorry, it does not determine whether I want to take the trade, but it does determine when I want to take the trade. And seeing that SMT, I knew that I wanted to take that trade soon. So once we saw this strong candle here, we ended up closing above sell side liquidity. Then we saw this candle here. We left a fair value gap here. I wanted to touch this fair value gap, right? Obviously, we didn't. We ended up only touching this one. But then I also stated this one might hesitate at this fair value gap. If it hesitates, I'll get in. It hesitated. I didn't get in because I hesitated. Um, it did show very little strength, but not enough for me to say, oh, I want this next bullish for value gap and this BPR, right? So then when this next few moves came in, I said, all right, once this 50% of the fair value gap here hits, I'll get in. I ended up getting in because of some delay time, because I had to tab to trade of 8, click send, and then the order had to pend. I ended up getting in a little bit lower than I wanted, which was absolutely fine because I was getting in for a buy order. Ended up getting in at the 50% of the BPR instead of the 50% of the fair value gap. Then I pulled stops down to here. That's perfectly fine by me. We had a little bit of a scare here of how we closed, but then we pushed up, and then I was confident. I ended up pulling stops up to this low, targeting 212, yada, yada, yada. I think overall today wasn't a bad day, but we could have done better, way better. And I think that this week was a learning lesson for me. I'm happy I didn't blow the account, but it has taught me to stay a little more confident in myself and to minimize the amount of losses that I'm taking, especially because Monday I took only 2 losses, but my stops were so big and so rough that I just got stopped for everything. And one of the stops actually just wasn't even big enough. So yeah, I think I should just be more patient and more confident in my positions. But yeah, that's going to be it for the trade journal today. Hopefully everybody had a good trading day. It wasn't a bad day, to be fair. Today was a pretty decent day. We had good moves. But hopefully tomorrow provides a better day. And I will see everyone tomorrow. Tomorrow's the last trading day of the week. And hopefully we all profit. I will see everybody Friday, July 10th.